Hello, everyone. Today we're going to be talking about the playoff matchups for next week in the NFL. And we have a lot of matchups, and it's going to be a fun weekend. So we're going to talk about it today, and I'm going to have my predictions, so stay with me. Welcome back, everyone. I hope everybody had a great holiday. I know I did, and today we're going to be talking about the wild card matchups for this weekend in the NFL. Saturday, we have Cleveland Browns and Houston Texans at 4:30 p.m. on Peacock. Followed up by the Miami Dolphins and Kansas City Chiefs at 8:15 p.m. on Peacock. So I'm looking at the matchup for Saturday, and I see the Browns and Texans. These are two teams that are going to go at it, but I believe that the Browns are just a much more older team, more experienced team than the Texans. The Texans are a real young team, and they found their way into the playoffs recently this year, and they're division winners, and they've been winning all this season with C.J. Stroud leading them at quarterback. But when you look at the Cleveland Browns and the stuff that they have, you have an experienced quarterback in Joe Flacco. You got a defense that consists of Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward, and Emerson Jr., a rising corner in the NFL. The Texans will have a hard time with that. I'm not saying that the Browns won't have their downsides, but you'll see more out of the Texans. I'll see more of the Texans losing this game and going home in the first round exit, and the Browns move on to the divisional. Saturday night, we have the Miami Dolphins and Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs have been struggling this season because of drop passes and other mistakes that have been made within the organization, like the quarterback and then Pat Mahomes. He's having a hard time sitting in the pocket and throwing because he's always getting sacked. I feel like they can win it, though. The Dolphins' mistakes outshine the Chiefs' mistakes only because Tua is not the type of quarterback to become real consistent. Especially what I saw in Sunday night's game against the Bills. Against the Bills, Tua was very indecisive on where he wanted to throw. He only had maybe like one or two reads, and he just threw it to those reads. That's how he got picked off in the last play of the game by Taylor Rapp. Taylor Rapp picked him off only because Chase Claypool didn't even run a corner fully, and Taylor Rapp read it because that was Tua's only read. He probably looked to it, and Taylor Rapp just ran over there before Chase Claypool could even get out his break, and it got picked off. And those are the type of mistakes when you make in the playoffs, it'll increase your chances of losing. And I feel like Pat Mahomes, he knows the playoff experience. He knows the environment more than Tua. And Mahomes is going to live up to the occasion. As far as the defenses go, we have a lot of injuries on the Dolphins defense, and it's not going to go too well in the playoffs when you have injuries like that. They have injuries all season. They were struggling getting guys back on the field, and it's just going to show against the Chiefs that how much they're going to struggle without their starters. And if their starters are in, they're not going to be 100%. The Chiefs, on the other hand, they can hold up defensively. I saw L'Jarius Sneed. He's probably one of the best corners this season. He's very good, and you also have Chris Jones on the D-line giving the boys work. So the Chiefs have a chance. They just had a lot going on this season, but the playoffs is a totally different ball game because these are teams now that are putting the regular season behind them, and they're now focusing on the goal, which is the Lombardi Trophy. So I got Chiefs winning, and I got Browns winning on Saturday for the AFC matchups. On Sunday, we have another AFC wildcard matchup, and that starts at 1 p.m. on CBS you got the Steelers going against the Buffalo Bills. Okay, so that's going to be a good one, only because the Steelers, once again, are like the Houston Texans. They're a very young team, and the Buffalo Bills are a very aggressive team. So when you have those two teams colliding, and the Steelers, they're very young, they're very hungry, they want to show that they can compete with other AFC teams, they're going to duel it out, and I feel like it's going to be a close one, but one team in the end is just going to get away, and I feel like that will be the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills have been playing terrific, but the one downside to the Buffalo Bills, you will have Josh Allen throwing anywhere he wants. By what I mean by that is throwing picks left and right, and that's going to probably move the momentum of the game and give Steelers the game. I saw that on Sunday night. Josh Allen was also throwing picks as well, and it kind of worried me throughout the playoffs. But I feel like, once again, it's the guy with more experience that's going to win, and Josh Allen is going to rise to the occasion. And the Bills' defense is a much more intense defense than I've seen in the Pittsburgh Steelers this past season. Steelers still have some work to do, and I feel like they will thrive in the league over the next couple of years. It's just that it's their first go, and the Bills know what to do now, and they're going to do what they need to do. This is my favorite one out of every one of these. I have the Green Bay Packers going against the Dallas Cowboys at 4:30 p.m. That's the game right after the Steelers and Bills. I have the Cowboys winning only because of the simple fact that Dak Prescott, he's on the road, he's hot. And you also have CeeDee Lamb, who's had over 10 receptions in the last couple of games. I think the last 3 or 4 games, he's had 10 receptions or more. And he also had a 200-yard game against the Lions. And CeeDee cannot be stopped. Green Bay Packers do have Jair Alexander, but the Cowboys have learned how to spread the ball around over the past couple games. They have used Brandon Cooks, Jalen Tolbert, Michael Gallup, CeeDee Lamb. You can name all. Devontae Turpin even been in there sometime. And if we know how to enhance the run game just a little bit, I don't really see nobody stopping it in the playoffs until they face their bump in the road against the San Francisco 49ers, which I want to see that happen so bad. I hope the Cowboys thrive in the playoffs and get through the playoffs so we can see our arch rival, the San Francisco 49ers. And if I have not told you guys before, I am a Cowboys fan. I was born and raised in Dallas, and I bleed blue. You know, I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan. So that's the game I want to see. As far as the Packers go, I want to see Jordan Love just play best at his position. He just needs to show that he's able to compete against teams like the Cowboys. And even if he loses, even if he wins, he'll show that he is one of the best quarterbacks in the league in years to come. So that's what I want to see out of Jordan Love, and I feel like he will do that. And they will give the Cowboys a fight. It might be a win by maybe 10 at the most by the Cowboys, because it is the playoffs and teams are playing at a much higher level and a much faster pace. Up next, we have another wildcard matchup in the NFC with the Rams going against the Lions at 8:15 p.m. on NBC. Rams and Lions, these are two teams that are trying to prove that they can be in the playoffs. Once again, you have Matthew Stafford and the Rams, who have missed the playoffs last year, against the Lions, who both teams missed the playoffs last year, and they're just trying to show like, hey, you know, so Dan Campbell has a lot of injuries with the Lions. I wasn't agreeing with him playing his players in the last game against the Vikings. If those injuries carry into this game, I see the Rams winning, because Sam Laporta being injured was a big key factor, and also Reynolds was injured. If I'm not mistaken, it was one of the receivers who was injured. I might have to go back and look at that. But Dan Campbell has to play aggressive like he's been doing. I hope his players are healthy. I hope they get healthy throughout the week so they can do that. As far as the Rams, they just need to do what they need to do. They have a great rookie running back in Williams, I believe that's his name. And they also have a great receiver in Puka Nacua. And you also have Cooper Kupp, who is still a good receiver. He don't have to be Triple Crown every year to become a good receiver. He can still provide for the Rams and be the backbone for the Rams when Puka Nacua is having a hard time. The Rams defense is still intact. It's probably gonna live up to the hype. The Rams, they just need to go in here and play ball and win the game. Now, who I got out of the game is I have the Rams. The Rams are gonna play their best football, and Sean McVay knows what it takes to go through the playoffs. He has a Super Bowl. He knows what it takes to get his team to the playoffs and through the playoffs, and I see them moving on to the divisional. And our final matchup is an NFC wildcard matchup against the Philadelphia Eagles and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I wouldn't sleep on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers only because they've been a very good team, even though they're in a division that's not very competitive, which is the NFC South. Baker Mayfield has shown that he's become one of the greatest quarterbacks in the league, best quarterbacks in the league, excuse me. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are rolling with wins now, in opposed to the Philadelphia Eagles. And I feel like they're going to come in there with a chip on their shoulder, and they're going to show how they should be the team that's going to be in the playoffs. And it's a lot of teams. I'm sorry that I keep repeating myself. There's a lot of teams in this playoff bracket that have made it and missed last season. Rams, Lions, Buccaneers, Browns, Texans. It's a lot of teams. Packers. We could say the Steelers, if I'm not mistaken. It's a lot of teams that are showing. They're trying to show that they can actually beat those competitive teams that have already been in the playoffs before. Now back to the matchup on Monday. We have the Philadelphia Eagles. That's a team that's been struggling a lot. They've been riddled with injuries, and also they have not decided on what they need to do in order to thrive as a team. In these past couple of weeks, they have lost 4 of their last 5 games, and they have resulted in a record of 11-6. They have been struggling, and I think that the struggles are gonna continue to happen with the Eagles, only because they haven't figured out how to go in with the correct scheme. There are some plays where they have become predictable, and teams have been able to stop them only because of that. I feel like this is just going to have to be a year where they're just going to have to look back, sit back, and actually get better resources for the team. They have great players. They just need resources like the coaches, because, like I said before, they have not really drawn up a great scheme to actually beat other teams in the past few weeks. So with that being said, I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers upsetting the Philadelphia Eagles in the wild card round. So the 2 teams that got the first round bye, obviously the Ravens and 49ers. And that's all for playoffs. I just hope that the Cowboys win and go to the divisional, and we play a not so great team in the divisional, and we move on to the conference title and eventually, hopefully, the Super Bowl. That is all for my takes on the playoffs this weekend. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and I hope you guys sit down, watch some football, and have a great time. This is Jordan Lindsay's podcast, Jordan Talks, and I'm out.